Hello, welcome to Wikipedia World Video. In our previous lesson, we talked about the Germanic tribe of Franks and their ruler Charles Martel, who defeated the Arabs and stopped their invasion of Europe. Charles Martel was succeeded by his son Pepin the Short. He is considered the first ruler of the new second Frankish dynasty, called Carolingian dynasty. The beginning of his reign was the end of the reign of the Merovingian dynasty. The last Merovingian ruler was driven away to monastery by Pepin and his supporters. Pepin the Short was the first crowned Frankish king of Carolingian dynasty. He was crowned by the Roman Pope. It was the onset of union between popes and Western European kings, who were only a few decades ago considered barbarians by the same popes and Romans in general. Nevertheless, after Franks were formally Christianized, the Roman popes wanted to restore the Western Roman Empire on the grounds of the newly formed barbarian, that is, Germanic kingdoms, creating an alliance with them. The first such alliance was the one with Frankish kingdom. We will say more about popes, church in medieval times, and the conflict between them and the Eastern Roman Empire a bit later. King Pepin the Short was mostly remembered for his conquests and wars against other Germanic tribes and Arabs. One of his greatest victories was against Langobards, who attempted to conquer Italy and the city of Rome governed by Pope. The Pope Stephanus II sent a letter to Pepin the Short asking for help to defend Rome from Langobards. The Frankish king agreed to help, defeated the Langobards, and even handed over all the lands he liberated to Pope himself. That act was the foundation of the future Papal State in Italy, which existed all the way until the 19th century, until the unification of all lands and cities of Italy into a national state. Pepin's son and successor was King Charles I, known as Charles the Great, or Charlemagne. He was the most powerful and the most famous Frankish ruler. The kingdom was at its climax during his reign, equal in power with the Eastern Roman Empire, which was still in existence despite numerous wars they had to wage against countless number of their enemies all over Europe, Asia, and Africa. King Charles conquered even more lands than his father, and subjugated and baptized many neighboring pagan tribes. He fought against Bavarians, Saxonians, Slavs, Langobards, Basques, Arabs, and Avarians. He forced Saxonians to accept Christianity and thus stopped pillaging and destroying other people's possessions. He also defeated Langobards once and for all, and waged few battles with Arabs with minor success. Charles the Great also fought against West Slavic tribes, such as Obodrites, conquering a part of their lands. On the other hand, he and his successors did not have much success in wars against South Slavic tribes, such as Serbs and Croats. Likewise, he was remembered for defeating the earlier mentioned Turkic tribe that lived in Pannonia, the Avars. He destroyed the Avarian kingdom at the end of the 8th century, around 796. His kingdom stretched from Spain in the west all the way to Poland and Pannonia in the east, possessing the territories of the modern-day France, Germany, and great parts of Italy and Spain, as well as parts of modern-day Hungary, Croatia, and Slovenia. Finally, in the year 800, he was proclaimed as emperor. The Frankish kingdom became empire, pretending for the crown of the world empire, which still belonged to the Eastern Roman Empire. In those times, it was thought that only one emperor with that title and only one world empire could exist, and everyone considered that empire to have been the Roman Empire, that is, the Eastern Roman Empire. This idea is usually called universality principle and stems from the biblical teaching about world empires. Anyhow, the Roman Pope Leo III gave the crown to Frankish King Charles in the city of Rome and proclaimed him the Roman Emperor. The Frankish ruler Charles I had the lifetime Roman title of Imperatorus Romanus from then on, held by the ancient Roman emperors. That only proves that Roman popes wanted to restore the Western Roman Empire through non-Roman, the so-called barbarian kings and nations, such as the Frankish Empire and their powerful ruler and conqueror, Charles the Great. It is interesting to note that Charles, while he was still a king, helped Pope Leo III and saved his life during a rebellion in the city of Rome. The citizens were not satisfied with the immoral life of this pope. We could assume that Leo returned the favor by proclaiming him the Frankish and Roman emperor, that is, the world ruler, as they thought of it in those times. During the reign of Charles the Great, not only was the Frankish Empire known for its conquests, but it was known for education and culture development, although many people, including his own father Pepin III, were illiterate. Charles the Great supported scholars, theologians, and artists. Moreover, the period of his reign is sometimes called the Carolingian Renaissance, while King Charles himself was called the Father of Europe. We could consider him one of the most important and influential rulers of the Western Europe, and the first ruler, conqueror, and emperor after the fall of the Western Roman Empire in the 5th century. The Frankish attempt of reaching the world domination and replacing the Eastern Roman Empire had the same destiny as other world empires before them. Namely, after the Emperor Charles' death, the Frankish Empire eventually collapsed and was divided into three parts, from which three new kingdoms arose: the Western Francia, or the future France, the Eastern Francia, the future Germany, or the Holy Roman Empire of Germany, and the Southern Francia, the future Italy. The Frankish Empire was divided this way by three grandsons of Charles the Great, signing an agreement called the Treaty of Verdun in 843. It is interesting to note that there was once an attempt of unifying the Eastern Roman Empire and the new Western Roman Empire restored through the Frankish Empire, since Frankish rulers held the title of Roman emperors. It was during the reign of the Eastern Roman or Byzantine Empress Regnant Irene, who ruled the Eastern Roman Empire at the same time as Charles the Great ruled Frankish Empire. The Pope Leo III, we mentioned, wanted to arrange a marriage between them, since he saw a vacant throne with no king, meaning there was no male pretender to the throne of the Eastern Roman Empire. However, the marriage never occurred, and Frankish emperors, along with popes, missed their chance of becoming world rulers. These new kingdoms, which emerged after Frankish Empire collapsed, were not united and independent, but many city-states and separated smaller dukedoms and kingdoms emerged in the territories of the modern-day Germany and Italy, that is, of the medieval Eastern as Southern Francia. The Eastern Francia, where Kingdom of Germany would emerge, was first called the Holy Roman Empire, or the Holy Roman Empire of the German nation, beginning in the 10th century. We will describe each of these Western European kingdoms, as well as non-European medieval kingdoms, in our next lessons about the Middle Ages. Now we should say something about the medieval history of Germany and their predecessor, the Holy Roman Empire of Germany. So the eastern part of the former Frankish Empire, or the Eastern Francia, was known as the Holy Roman Empire, starting from the 10th century, or alternatively, the Holy Roman Empire of the German nation in later ages. Why was it named that way? The answer is simple. It was named that way because Roman popes wanted to restore the former Western Roman Empire through kingdoms of Frankish kings and Germanic rulers in general. They made a compromise. Since they could not restore the former glory of the ancient Roman Empire by themselves, they accepted barbarians, as they called them, to perform the task for them, to spread their religion and authority, and ultimately to conquer the whole world. After all, both Western and Eastern Roman emperors used German and other foreign nations' leaders as their allies, called the federates, or as mercenaries against other foreign nations. Many of the Roman emperors themselves, even during the ancient ages, were of foreign origin, despite the fact they all had Roman, Latin names. Some of the most famous ancient and medieval Roman military commanders were not Romans by origin, but foreigners who came to serve Rome during the Great Migration, or after it ended. Therefore, after the collapse of Frankish Empire, the Roman popes transferred the leadership and the role of Roman emperors from kings of United Franks to the Eastern Franks, that is, to medieval German kings, whom they proclaimed Roman emperors. That is why their state was called the Holy Roman Empire. They were supposed to be successors of the Frankish Empire of Charlemagne, and his role in conquering other nations and spreading the religion of papacy, the Western Christianity, or the Roman Catholicism. During the reign of Charlemagne and his successors, and during the 10th century, when the German Holy Roman Empire was formed, Christianity was not yet divided into Western, Catholicism, and Eastern, called Orthodox Christianity. But even before the break of their unity, there were many conflicts between the popes and Western Europe on one side, and the Eastern Roman emperors on the other side, and not only concerning religion issues. The final break of Christianity occurred in the 11th century, in 1054. We will talk more about it after we finish the story about the Holy Roman Empire. Even though the Holy Roman Empire was situated in the modern-day Germany, as already said, it was called a Roman Empire because of the Roman papacy's wish to restore the ancient Roman Empire under their own authority, either only religious or both religious and political. They considered themselves as the legitimate successors of ancient Roman Empire, while the Eastern Roman Empire was mostly called the Greek Empire in the West, not the Eastern Roman Empire. This was from two reasons. First, they did not want to admit their right for succeeding the ancient Roman emperors, and secondly, the Eastern Roman Empire did stretch mainly over the Greek lands. Greek language was the official language of the Eastern Roman Empire from the 7th century onwards. In our next lesson, we will continue the story about the Western Holy Roman Empire of Germany. Thank you for watching Edupedia World video.